Now we will begin with the unit coordinate geometry. To understand the concept of coordinate geometry at the level of class 10th, we will study about the lines in two dimensions. So first of all, we must explain, you must understand that what is the concept of the coordinate geometry. To understand this concept, as earlier in class 9th also, we would like to tell you how we separate a plane in 2 or 4. If I draw one line, then plane is separated in two parts. If I draw two lines, one horizontal, one vertical, then plane is separated in four identical parts. Each part is known as quadrant, and the quadrants are related with this our coordinate geometry. So whenever we plot a line which is horizontal, then this plane is separated into two parts. One part above to this line and another part below to this line. The horizontal line is known as x-axis. There are two axes, x-axis and y-axis, because the chapter is lines in two dimensions. If we draw one line which is perpendicular to the horizontal line, that is known as the vertical line, and its name in the chapter of this vertical line is y-axis. This is y-axis, vertical line. So to understand the concept of coordinate geometry, first of all we must understand what is a plane surface. The surface on which you write, the surface which you use, the surface on which you moves, that is known as a plane. And when this plane is separated by the two axes, one the x-axis, the horizontal one, other perpendicular to it, that is the vertical one, and when these two axes separates our plane in four identical parts, then finding the distance and studying the other concepts comes in the chapter lines in two dimensions or under the unit coordinate geometry. So this is the first quadrant, this is the second quadrant, this is the third quadrant, and this one is the fourth quadrant. Now if we talk about that what happens when two axes, x-axis and y-axis meet perpendicular at some point, that point is known as origin. The point of intersection of the two axes is known as the origin. It's okay. Now we are coming to explain you that which part of x-axis is the positive zone and which part of x-axis is the negative zone. Which part of y-axis is the positive and which part of y-axis is negative. As clear, from origin, the right side portion of the x-axis is known as positive x, and from origin the left side part is known as the negative x. Similarly, if you move toward up from x-axis is the positive y and down to this is the negative y. Now the question comes, when this portion positive x and positive y enclose one quadrant, that is when x is positive, y is positive, when both are positive, that comes in the quadrant number 1, that is the first quadrant, where x and y both are positive, or you can say the quadrant enclosed by positive x and positive y is known as the first quadrant. If you come in the second quadrant, we find x is negative and y is positive. So second quadrant considers x negative and y positive. If we come in the third quadrant, I will explain you. Third quadrant is the composition of x negative as well as y negative. And in the fourth quadrant, x is positive whereas y is negative. In the coordinate geometry, the names of these two special x and y values are given. X is known as abscissa and y is known as ordinate. So the combination of abscissa and ordinate is known as coordinate, and the geometry which deals with the study of ordinate and abscissa, or in order you can say abscissa comma ordinate, is known as the coordinate geometry. So to understand the coordinate geometry, we must know what is a plane. Plane is a surface on which we can draw line or straight line. Like apple. Apple is also having surface, but we cannot draw the straight line. So apple surface is not a plane surface. So we will talk about only plane surfaces. Number one. Second, when the plane surface is separated by two axes, one horizontal one known as x-axis, vertical one known as y-axis. When these two axes intersect at 90-degree angle, what we call it? We call it that it is separated into four quadrants. It is means plane. The positive zone is the right side from origin of x, and negative of x is the left to origin. Above to x-axis is positive of y, and below to x-axis is negative of y. These are four quadrants. First quadrant, in the combination of x and y both are positive. Second, x negative, y positive. Fourth, both are negative. Third, both are negative, and fourth is x positive, y negative. Now if we discuss that in this quadrant system, there are two values x, the name of x is abscissa and name of y is ordinate, and we will use this concept to explain you to find distance formula, section formula, and other important contents of this chapter, coordinate geometry. Now I will discuss with you that how to recognize that given coordinate lies in which quadrant. As I have shared with you that if a plane is separated in four identical parts, each one is known as the quadrant. So this is the x-axis, the horizontal one. This is the y-axis, vertical one. This is x-axis, this is y-axis. This part is the positive x, this part is negative of x, this part is positive of y, and this part is negative of y. That is meaning by where these two intersects is known as origin, and the coordinates of origin are 0, 0. That is the point of intersection of x-axis and y-axis. Now a question is that when a plane has been separated in four identical parts, each part is known as the quadrant. This is the first quadrant where x and y both are positive. This is the second quadrant where x is negative and y is positive. This is the third quadrant where x is negative and y is negative. This is fourth quadrant where x is positive and y is negative. Now one question raised that if we give you one point to recognize that this particular point means position of x and position of y. Position of x means abscissa and position of y means ordinate. Suppose 3, 7. If I ask this point lies in which quadrant? 3, 7. 3 is the positive and 7 is also positive. These both values are positive. It's mean what? X is positive, y is positive. So we can say both values abscissa and ordinate are positive. Hence this lies in first quadrant. So we can simply recognize by just observing the signs of x and y. If both are positive, first quadrant. If x negative, y positive, second quadrant. Both are negative, third quadrant. And x positive, y negative is the fourth quadrant. Now we are discussing, I am giving you one more question. Let us suppose -8, -11. What are their numerical value? We should not worry about that. We must observe the sign. -8, -11. X is negative, y is negative. Abscissa is negative, ordinate is negative. Both are negative. So this combination of the points lies in the third quadrant. Similarly, if we give you one point, suppose -7, 8. So if minus 7 comma 8 is a coordinate, here x is negative, y is positive, meaning by this lies in the second quadrant. Suppose if I just swap their coordinates, that is 7 comma minus 8, it means x is positive, y is negative, this lies in the fourth quadrant. I am asking you such a question where you will be definitely wonder to answer. What is the question? Suppose if I say that coordinate minus 3 comma 0 lies in which quadrant? Minus 3 comma 0, as you know, first value is known as the value of x. Here answer of x is minus 3, that is abscissa is negative, value of y is 0, meaning by ordinate is 0, 0 has no sign, plus or minus. So where this point lies, it means that minus 3 comma 0 does not lie in any quadrant. Either this value needs to be lie on y-axis or on x-axis. It cannot lie on y-axis because y is 0, value of x is minus 3. So in any case, if x is 0, that point lies on y-axis, or if y is 0, that point lies on x-axis. Here y is 0, so this lies on x-axis, that to be negative side. Similarly, if I give you one more problem, that is 0 comma 7. Here what is 0? X is 0. If x is 0, then point has to lie on y-axis. So 0 comma 7 lies on y-axis. So we must understand that how many ways of a coordinate of lying in this quadrant system. A, it can be in first quadrant if both are positive. B, it can be in second quadrant if first negative, second positive, both are negative. Third quadrant, first positive, second negative. Fourth quadrant, if x is 0, it is on y-axis. If y is 0, it is on x-axis. If both are 0, it is on origin. So this way we can practice a large number of questions where we can recognize that where a point lies. Now we will discuss with you some more applications, distance formula, section formula, midpoint formula, etc. One very important result without which we just say that coordinate geometry is absolutely incomplete, or for class 10th a mandatory result, that is how to find the distance between 2 points. If there are 2 points in a plane, maybe in any quadrant, what is the formula to calculate the distance between 2 points? This is one important task, and with the help of this distance formula we will solve various questions. At many places, in many situations, this distance formula is applicable. So first of all, we must understand what is the distance formula. To make you clear the distance formula, we should draw x-axis and y-axis. X-axis and y-axis and point of intersection is the origin 0, 0. Suppose I take a point A and this is point B. Coordinates of this point A, if I assume x1, y1, and coordinates of B are assumed to be x2, y2. I want to find the direct distance between A and B, the shortest distance. Writing here x1, y1 meaning what? Meaning by to reach at this point A from origin, first we have moved a distance x1 on x-axis and then we have come up y1 toward y-axis. Similarly, coordinates of the B are x2, y2, meaning by first of all from origin we have moved a distance of x2 units and toward y-axis y2 units. To find this distance, we have drawn one perpendicular from A and other perpendicular from B. Suppose this is M and this is N. This means perpendiculars feet from points A and B. And suppose if I drawn one perpendicular from A to BN, suppose this point is P. So we must understand this is origin O. OM is the distance is equals to x1. OM distance is x1 because coordinates of the point A are x1, y1. To reach A, first of all we have moved from origin to OM, that is x1 distance, then upward MA, y1. Now OM is x1 and ON, distance ON is x2. If I subtract distance OM from ON, so ON minus OM become x2 minus x1. This distance MN, because subtraction of the ON minus OM, if I subtract OM from ON, I will get MN. Answer of MN is coming out to be x2 minus x1. Similarly, we can say x2 minus x1 is MN. So this implies answer of AP is also x2 minus x1. Now, if distance, or you can say the height AM, if AM is required, AM is how much? Y1. This AM is Y1 and this BN, the distance BN is Y2 as per situations of the coordinates x1, y1 and x2, y2. What is y1? The height of point from x-axis, and that is how much? AM. And second situation, height of point B from N is how much? BN. Now if we subtract the value y2 minus y1, y2 minus y1 will give us what? BP. BP distance, because if AM is y1, then PN is also how much? Y1. Same. We have obtained AP. AP as x2 minus x1. We have obtained BP, y2 minus y1. This is a right triangle where this means APB. In right triangle APB, in right triangle APB, length AB is hypotenuse, AB is hypotenuse, AP is base and BP is perpendicular. We have already calculated the base. Answer of base AP, AP is x2 minus x1 has been made clear from here. And height BP is also calculated as y2 minus y1 from this step. We have the base, we have the perpendicular, we need to calculate hypotenuse. If we apply the Pythagoras theorem, hypotenuse is equals to root of perpendicular square plus base square. Hypotenuse means distance AB is equals to root of x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square. This is the AB distance, or this main result of calculating the distance between 2 points. So if x1, y1 and x2, y2 are the 2 points in a plane, then with the help of distance formula, you can calculate the distance between them, and the result is root of x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square is known as the distance between 2 points. This is very important formula. We'll use to prove the points. Coordinate will use to decide the nature of triangles, quadrilaterals, and many more results will be calculated with the help of this formula, and we will discuss it. Now I will discuss with you that what are the uses of this formula, that is the distance formula. So first use, that Ed named the distance formula, so it is used to calculate the distance between 2 points. Let us suppose there are 2 points in a plane like this. Coordinates of this situation are 3, 4. Suppose the point A, and another situation is B. Coordinates of this point are 6, 9, or you can say 6, 8. Suppose 3, 4 are the coordinates of the initial position A and coordinates of the point B are 6, 8. How we will find the distance between these 2 points? This is the important question. This is the application of the distance formula. In using the distance formula, one of the situation is taken as x1 y1 and final situation is to be taken as x2 y2. So if we compare it, we will find the x1 is equals to 3 and y1 is equals to 4. That is the x1 and y1 coordinates of the point in the first situation, and coordinates in the second situation B, x2 is equals to 6 and y2 is equals to 8. x1 y1 and x2 y2 are the coordinates of initial and final situation. We want to calculate the distance, or we want to apply the distance formula. What is the rule, what is the formula as discussed with you? That is, if x1 y1 and x2 y2 are the coordinates of a point, then distance between these 2 points is given by root of x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square. There should be no confusion in using the formula in another shape also. What is that shape? Distance formula can be used as x1 minus x2 square plus y1 minus y2 square also. There should be no confusion, because in whole square either we say x2 minus x1 whole square or we say x1 minus x2 whole square. Here x2 minus x1 whole square, it is x1 minus x2 whole square, having the same meaning, because a minus b whole square or b minus a whole square are same. A minus b whole square is a square plus b square minus 2ab. b minus a whole square is b square plus a square minus 2ab. Similarly, you always remember writing x2 minus x1 or x1 minus x2 in whole square, having the same result. Similarly, y2 minus y1 whole square or y1 minus y2 whole square. So our question is, we want to calculate the distance between the points A and B whose coordinates are given by 3, 4 and 6, 8. So x1 3, y1 4, x2 6, y2 8, f 3 ordinate 4 in first position, f 6 ordinate 8 in the second situation. So if we find the distance between these 2 points, or you can mention it by AB. AB is equal to distance between these 2 points x2 minus x1, that is 6 minus 3 whole square, plus y1 minus y2 or y2 minus y1, that is 8 minus 4 whole square, and finals square root, as the proof of the distance formula is being told you. 6 minus 3 is the 3, its whole square is 9, 8 minus 4 is 4, its whole square is 16, 16 plus 9 is 25 and its square root is taken as 5, only plus 5, not negative 5. Why? Because we are calculating the distance, and distance is always supposed to be considered as the positive one. So this is one of the example that how to apply the distance formula, which have been discussed with you, that if coordinates of a point at one end are x1 y1 and other end are x2 y2, x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square, or x1 minus x2 square plus y1 minus y2 square. Comparing and knowing what are x1 y1 and x2 y2, putting these values, we can calculate the distance between any 2 points in any situation of the coordinate geometry. Now I was telling you what are the other uses of the distance formula. So other uses are, which will be discussed with you, that to prove that triangle is equilateral, triangle is isosceles, triangle is right angled, quadrilateral is parallelogram, quadrilateral is the square, quadrilateral is rhombus, or area of triangle, area of quadrilateral, or proving the collinearity of the 3 or more points. So these are the other uses of this formula which we will share with you. Now I will take one very important example based on the distance formula, that is find the distance, or you can say find or search or trace a point on x-axis which is equidistant from 2 points and lies on x-axis. So question I am writing, find the coordinates, or you simply say find a point on x-axis which is equidistant from 2 points 5, 4. First point is what? 5, 4, and another is minus 2, 3. Find a point lies on x-axis which is equidistant from 2 points 5, 4 and minus 2, 3 is the question. Absolutely a question based on the formula, distance formula, and also using some additional concept, that is point is lying on x-axis. So as far as this on x-axis considers, what is meaning and property of x-axis? Property of x-axis is on x-axis x may attain any value, but answer of y on x-axis is always 0. Similarly, you always remember whenever one will talk about y-axis, vertical x-axis, vertical axis means y-axis means the y's values may be any positive or negative, but answer of x on y-axis is always 0. Here question is that find a point on x-axis which is equidistant from two given points 5, 4 and minus 2, 3. This we need to calculate. So ultimately, first quadrant positive, positive, second quadrant negative, positive, third quadrant negative, negative, fourth quadrant positive, negative. This point lies on first quadrant. This point lies in second quadrant. Now we want to select a point on x-axis. So for solution, let a point on x-axis is k, 0, or you can mention on x-axis x, 0. It's your choice. Whatever constant, whatever value of x you want to opt, you can opt. Let a point on x-axis is k, 0 or x, 0, y another is 0, y ordinate is 0, because on x-axis ordinate meaning by value of y is always 0, always. Now, this point is equidistant. Point x, 0 is equidistant from 2 points. One is 5, 4, another is minus 2, 3. Distance of the point x, 0 is equal from 5, 4 and minus 2, 3. So if we use the distance formula, suppose this is location P, this location is A and this location is B. So PA is equals to PB as per given situation. Or you can say PA square is equals to PB square. Using the distance formula, in this we will write x minus 5 square plus 0 minus 4 square is equals to x plus 2 square, second situation, plus 0 minus 3 square. We will simplify it. A minus b whole square, that is a square plus b square minus 2ab, or 0 minus 4 whole square is 16 is equals to x square plus 4 plus 4x plus 9. This x square and x square get cancelled. If I shift this plus 4x from here to here, I will get minus 14x is equals to. And this 16 and 25 when will be added. 16 and 25 when it will be added and will be shifted to this side will give us minus 28 in final, because 9 plus 4 13 and these two values are here, added and transferred, we will get this. So answer of x is coming 2. Answer of x is coming 2 means the coordinates of the point lying on x-axis equidistant from given to 5, 4 and minus 2, 3 is 2, 0, because answer of x is 2 and we have assumed that coordinates of that point are x, 0. So answer is coming out to be 2, 0 is that point lying on x-axis and equidistant. So the distance formula can be used in various situations. Now we will use some more applications of this distance formula. Now I am explaining you one important example which is again related to our distance formula. What is this? If distance of point P x comma y from two points A 5 comma 1 and B minus 1 comma 5 are equal, then prove that 3x is equals to 2y. Again we will create the situation. Let us suppose this is the point P given by the coordinates x comma y. Distances of A and B from P, the coordinates of the A are mentioned as 5 comma 1 and B minus 1 comma 5. This distance is given equal to this distance. That is, we have PA is equals to PB, or you can say PA square is equals to PB square by squaring both sides. Distance PA is given by x minus 5 square plus y minus 1 squares under root. Reason being x1 minus x2 square plus y1 minus y2 square is equals to square root of second distance PB, that is what, x minus of minus 1 means x plus 1 square plus y minus 5 square. These are the distances, but we have already squared, so we will write its whole square and its whole square. We will get x minus 5 whole square plus y minus 1 whole square is equals to x plus 1 whole square plus y minus 5 whole square. This become x square plus 25 minus 10x plus y square minus 2y plus 1 is equals to x square plus 1 plus 2x plus y square plus 25 minus of 10x by using a minus b square and a plus b square. Now this x square is cancelled to this x square because these are the equal, and when shift it will become negative. Now y square has been cancelled with y square. Now we will see this 25 is cancelled by this 25. Also this positive 1 is cancelled by this positive 1. We left with what? It is minus 10x. It is plus 2x. When shifted it become minus 12x. And minus 2y when shifted to this side, this become what? This is minus 2y. This is minus of 10y. This become our, first of all we have seen here it is x square plus 25 minus 10x plus y square minus 2y plus 1 is equals to x square plus 1 plus 2x, then y square plus 25 minus of 10y. X square y square and x square y square get cancelled, plus 25 and plus 25, plus 1 and plus 1. Now this is plus 2x, this is minus 10x when this port is shifted to this side. So this is minus of our 10x and this is our plus of 2x. So this become minus of 12x. Now this minus 2y when shifted to this side, this become the positive 2y. So minus 10y plus 2y gives us what? Minus of 8y. Minus and minus cancelled. 4 3 are 12, that is 3x, and 4 2 are 8, that is what? 2y. This is our required result, that 3x is equals to 2y, which we need to prove. So we can apply our distance formula for solving the various questions. Now we will tell you how this formula is required to prove that whether points are collinear, whether nature of triangle is isosceles, scalene, equilateral, right triangle, right isosceles, and also decide the nature of quadrilaterals type, for which you have to see I am going to give you some idea of this concept here only. That is how to show and how to apply this formula of the distance, whether the nature of triangle is equilateral, scalene or isosceles. First of all, if I explain you, this is P, this point is Q, this point is R. Suppose we are given here coordinates x1, y1, x2, y2 and coordinates for R x3, y3. we have the coordinates of three vertices PQR of any triangle x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3. If coordinates are given, then by using the distance formula we can find, let us suppose PQ is the first distance d1, and this is very much easily extracted by the using distance formula, distance between 2 points. Then we can calculate, suppose this distance is coming out to be A, then we can calculate the second distance QR, suppose second distance D2, again x2, y2 and x3, y3, and suppose this distance is given by our B. Now we will calculate the third distance PR, that is D3, and will also be calculated by the same formula, distance formula, and suppose that distance is how much? C. Now question raised, how we decide the nature of triangle. The first situation, if A is equal to B is equal to C, it means all sides of triangle are equal. We will say triangle is equilateral, number one. And in the second situation, if two sides are equal, if two sides are equal, and third is unequal, we will say triangle is isosceles. Triangle will be isosceles. And in the third situation, if none of the length is equal to each other, we will say the triangle is equilateral. So it is very much useful to decide the nature of triangle, whether it is equilateral, isosceles or scalene. Similarly, we can also observe one important fact, that if a square of any of the side, suppose A square is coming out to be B square plus C square, it means that using the converse of Pythagoras, we say the square of one side is equal to square of sum of other two sides. So we conclude that distance formula is very much useful to decide the nature of triangle. If all lengths comes equal, equilateral, two lengths come equal, it is isosceles, all three lengths come different, it is, we can say, scalene triangle, that is not equilateral here, it is the scalene one, scalene triangle. And third, if square of the any longer side comes equal to sum of squares of other two side, it is the right angled triangle. So if using this formula we find other two sides are equal, so we say it is right isosceles also. We will take some example where the nature of triangle is required to be decided. Now I am taking one important example which tells, or we can say with the help of that we decide the nature of triangle. Suppose the question is, check whether 5, minus 2, 6, 4 and 7, minus 2 are the vertices of an isosceles triangle. We know that the triangle is having three vertices, three angles, three sides. A triangle has 6 parts. 3 sides and 3 angles are considered as the 6 parts of a triangle. To check whether the triangle is equilateral, if all sides are equal in length, equilateral, 2 sides are equal, it is known as the isosceles. If none of them is equal and triangle forms, is known as the scalene. If the square of the largest one is equal to sum of squares of other two sides, it is known as the isosceles triangle. It is known as our right triangle. Now the question is, we have the 3 vertices A, B, C, or you can say P, Q, R. Suppose we mention here in the plane, this is the P, this is the Q and this is the R. Coordinates for the first point P are 5, minus 2. Coordinates of the second vertices is 6, 4 and coordinates for the last third vertex is 7, minus 2. We would like to know that what kind of triangle is this, or in this special problem we would like to check whether the triangle is isosceles or not. To check it, we will go to calculate all 3 lengths PQ, QR and next one is the RP. PQ, QR, RP. All 3 distances will be calculated with the help of the distance formula. So if we calculate PQ, the answer of the length PQ is x2 minus x1, that is 6 minus 5 whole square, plus y2 minus y1, that is 4 minus 2, that is 4 plus 2 whole square. the length PQ is coming out to be root of 6 minus 5, 1 whole square is 1, 4 plus 2, 6, this is 36. So length of PQ is root of 37 units. First length PQ is coming out to be root 37 units. Now QR, the length of QR is coming out to be, again we will apply the distance formula, x2 minus x1 square, that is 7 minus 6 square, plus y2 minus y1 square, that is minus 2 minus 4 whole square. The QR length is coming out to be 7 minus 6, 1, and minus 2 minus 4 is minus 6, its whole square is plus 36. So length QR become root of 37. This length is also root 37 units. Now we will calculate the third length RP. The length RP will be calculated again by using the distance formula, x2 minus x1 square, that is root of 7 minus 5 square, 7 minus 5 whole square, plus minus 2 minus of minus 2, that is plus 2 whole square. So length RP is coming out to be 7 minus 5, 2 whole square is 4, minus 2 plus 2, 0 whole square is 0. So the length RP is coming out to be what? 2. Square root of 4 is 2. We are observing here two lengths are root 37 and root 37. The length RQ is equals to PQ. If two sides of a triangle are equal, we say it is isosceles. So triangle is what? Isosceles. So this way we can use the distance formula to check whether triangle is isosceles, equilateral, scalene, right isosceles or right angle. You can go for practice of some more questions to apply to application of this formula of the distance in deciding the nature of triangle. Now we will apply the same formula in quadrilaterals and also in finding the areas and also for proving the collinearity. Now we will discuss some more applications of this distance formula, like how to decide that the given 3 points lies in a line or meaning by are collinear. If we take one example, let us suppose there are 3 points A 1, 1, second point is B, suppose coordinates are 3, 3, and another is suppose 5, 5. See how we can say using the distance formula that these 3 points are collinear or not. As and when we take any 3 points in a plane, there are only two situations. Either a triangle will form or triangle will not form. So if a triangle will form, then points are not collinear, and if triangle is not forming, points are collinear. Now the question is how we can say. If I take one very different example, suppose this is the point P, this point is Q, this point is R, this distance is 3 units. Suppose somebody says distance between PQ is 3 units, distance between Q and R, suppose RQ distance is 5, and one has told you the total distance PR is 8 units. So what we conclude here? We have concluded that the PQ plus RQ is equals to PR. So if sum of two smaller distances, that is PQ plus QR, is same as the final distance QR, we say points are collinear. If it is not so, points are not collinear. So we will apply the same funda here, that is AB, BC and AC. We will calculate first the distance between the point A and B. So distance AB here is coming out to be, using distance formula, 3 minus 1, 2, its whole square is 4. 3 minus 1 whole square is 4. So answer of AB is 4 plus 4, 8, can be written as 2 root 2. Now we will go to calculate BC. The distance BC is what? Again 5 minus 2, 5 minus 3, 2, that is whole square 4, y2 minus y1 5 minus 3 2 whole square is again what 4. So answer of BC is root 8. Answer of BC is coming out to be 2 root 2. AB distance is 2 root 2. BC distance is also 2 root 2. Now we would like to check whether the distance AC. So distance AC is coming out to be 5 minus 1 4 whole square 16. 5 minus 1 4 whole square 16. 16 plus 16 32, which can be written as 4 root 2. If AC distance is equals to sum of AB and BC, we will say points are collinear. Here from these calculations, AB is 2 root 2, BC is 2 root 2, AC is 4 root 2. Answer of AB plus BC, that is 2 root 2 plus 2 root 2 is coming out to be 4 root 2. This is 4 root 2 and which is equal to the length AC. So what conclusion we have drawn? That distance AC is equals to AB plus BC. This is showing the betweenness, that is B lies between A and C, hence points are collinear. So directly we can say the distance formula is also applicable to check whether 3 points are collinear or not. As example have been shared with you that the greatest distance must be the sum of other two distance, and using the betweenness concept we can say points are collinear or not. Now we will discuss the use of distance formula for finding the areas and nature of quadrilaterals. Now I will explain you the further use of the distance formula in quadrilaters and triangles. To check the given quadrilateral is parallelogram, rectangle, square, rhombus or trapezium. This can also be decided by using the distance formula. And how to find the area of triangle or quadrilateral or pentagon. This all can be done with the single formula, that is the distance formula, which we shared with you yet. Suppose I take an example of any quadrilateral in general. So first of all, a general result I am explaining you. Suppose ABCD is any quadrilateral. Its vertices are x1, y1, x2, y2, x3 at C, y3, and coordinates of the D are x4, y4. With the help of 4 vertices in coordinate geometry of any quadrilateral, how we will decide that what kind of quadrilateral is this? First of all, you must understand, you must know what or how many types of the quadrilaterals we have in the family of the quadrilaterals. Number 1, the quadrilateral, the type can be asked, that is it a trapezium? Number 1, about the trapezium, or it is a parallelogram. It is a parallelogram. It may be rectangle. It may be rhombus. It may be a square. So these are the certain type of the quadrilaterals which can be asked. To understand whether it is a trapezium. Trapezium is that quadrilateral whose one of the pair of opposite sides is parallel and other is non-parallel. Number 1. But mostly generally asked questions are parallelogram, trapezium, rhombus and square. So how we check the given quadrilateral is a parallelogram or not? The simple definition of the parallelogram, that parallelogram is that quadrilateral whose opposite sides are parallel as well as equal. So if we use the distance formula and finds AB is equals to CD and AD is equals to BC, if we can find the opposite sides are equal, we say it is a parallelogram. So whenever a quadrilateral is given, you want to check whether it is parallelogram or not. First of all, calculate all 4 distances and check whether opposite distances are equal or not. If you find opposite sides lengths are equal, that is a parallelogram. First property. Suppose you want to say it is a rectangle. The important property of the rectangle is the lengths of the diagonals of any quadrilateral are same, then it is a rectangle. We have ABCD is a quadrilateral. If we want to check whether it is rectangle or not, what should we do? We should calculate the length of AC and BD, because AC and BD are the lengths of the diagonals. AC, what is the diagonal? Diagonal is that line segment which join the opposite vertices of any quadrilateral. So AC is what? First diagonal. BD is second diagonal. If these lengths have been calculated and are equal, we say it is a rectangle. Suppose you want to say it is a rhombus. To check whether it is a rhombus, you have to calculate all four sides, and if all these lengths are equal, we will say it is a rhombus. Now the final, that how we can say it is a square. To say it is a square is a special type of rhombus where each angle is 90 degree, or square is a special type of rectangle with all sides equal. So whenever you want to prove it is a square, we have to check that all sides are equal and length of diagonals are also same. So it is very easy to apply the distance formula for deciding the nature of the quadrilateral. Quadrilateral can be a trapezium, which is not for use at the level of class 10th. It can be parallelogram. If opposite sides are equal, length of opposite sides are equal, you will say it is a parallelogram. Rectangle, if lengths of diagonals are equal, diagonals are the line segment joins the opposite vertices, then it may be rhombus. If all four sides are equal, it can be the square if it holds both properties of the rhombus and rectangle, that is diagonals are equal and all sides are same, we say it is a rhombus. How we can say that area of any quadrilateral or area of any triangle can be obtained? We all are aware about the Heron's formula. So if we have three lengths A, B, C, lengths of three sides of any triangle can be calculated by using the distance formula. Suppose this is a triangle ABC, this length is A, this length is B, or this length is C. So by using the distance formula, we can calculate the distance of the length of the sides. If lengths of the sides have been calculated by using the Heron's formula, we can say area of triangle is equals to root of S minus A, S minus B, S minus C, where you all know S is semi-perimeter, that is sum of all three lengths upon 2. So distance formula is applicable to check the collinearity, to check the nature of triangle, to check the nature of quadrilateral, to find the area of triangle. And quadrilateral is a combination of two triangles. So if you want to calculate the area of quadrilateral using the distance formula, you separate by drawing one diagonal in two triangles, and sum of areas of two triangle will give you the area of that quadrilateral. Similarly for pentagon and other figures also. Now we will take one example where we will actually calculate the area of any quadrilateral. Now we will explain how to find the area of quadrilateral by the distance formula. Suppose there is a quadrilateral ABCD. This is the quadrilateral A, B, C, D. Coordinates of this are 0, 0. Here the coordinates are 3, 0. Suppose coordinates are 3, 4 and here coordinates are 0, 4. This is a quadrilateral ABCD. Its area we would like to calculate by using the distance formula. To find the area of this quadrilateral by using the distance formula, first of all we will join A to C. That is, we will draw one diagonal to separate a quadrilateral in the two separate triangles. ABCD is a quadrilateral. By joining AC, it has been separated into two triangles. So area of quadrilateral ABCD is equals to area of triangle ABC plus area of triangle ACD. ABC and ACD, their combination will give us the area of the complete. Now to calculate the area of triangle ABC, we can calculate it by finding the distance AB, length of AB. By using the distance formula, we will find it is 3 units. Then we will find the length BC. Using the distance formula, we find it is 4. And length AC, again using the distance formula, we find it is 5. So one length is 3, other is 4, this length is 3, this length is 4, this length is 5. So using the distance formula, we have obtained the length of sides. So if we say A is 3, B is 4, C is 5, so S is equals to A plus B plus C upon 2. That is 3 plus 4 plus 5 upon 2. That is 3 plus 4, 7 plus 5, 12 upon 2, 6. So area of triangle ABC is equals to root of S, that is 6. S minus A, 6 minus 3, that is 3. S minus B, 6 minus 4, that is 2. S minus C, 6 minus 5, that is 1. So 6 3 ja 18, 2 ja 36, 1 ja 36, root of 36. So area of this triangle becomes 6 unit square. As we have calculated the area of triangle ABC, similarly we can calculate the area of triangle ADC. To calculate the area of triangle ADC, we have already one side AC. We need to find DC. Using the distance formula, length of DC will come out 3. Using distance formula, length of AD, it will come out, the length of AD will come out as 4. Again the sides of triangle ADC become 3, 4 and 5. So its area will be again what? Same. So we will say area of triangle ADC is also 6 unit square. ADC's area is 6 units, ABC's area is 6 units. So total area of the quadrilateral, area of quadrilateral is the sum of these two triangles, that is 6 plus 6, that is 12 unit square. So hence it should be clear to one and all that the distance formula is applicable to check the distance between 2 points, to check their collinearity, to check whether triangle is equilateral, scale and isosceles, right triangle or right isosceles, to check the nature of quadrilateral, that is whether it is parallelogram, square, rhombus, rectangle, and distance formula is also applicable to find the area of quadrilateral or pentagon or triangle with the help of our this Heron's formula, that is root of S, S minus A, S minus B, S minus C, which concept has been clear to you in your previous class 9th. Now we will explain you the next component, that is the section formula of this chapter. Now after discussing a lot about the distance formula and its application, which is a part, the first thing to understand the concept of the coordinate geometry, that is lines in 2 dimensions. Now we are proceeding toward the section formula. What is this section formula, how it comes, and what are its uses? These are the 3 things to be discussed in this. Suppose we have any line segment AB. AB is any line segment and the coordinates of point A are x1, y1 and coordinates of the point B are x2, y2. In between A and B, internally on the line segment AB, suppose there is a point C. The length AC and length CB are in the ratio of m is to n. That is, AC is to BC is m is to n. If we have the coordinates of the end points of any line segment, a line segment has 2 end points, A and B. Coordinates at A are x1, y1 and coordinates at B are x2 and y2. Suppose you want to find the coordinates of a point lying on the line segment AC. M is to N is the ratio of these two lengths. Then to find X, that is abscissa, the formula is mx2, that is ratio of left side and coordinate of right side. Ratio of left side or abscissa of right side. mx2 plus this n goes here, become nx1 upon m plus n. mx2 plus nx1 upon m plus n, it gives the value of x, and if you want to calculate y, we will go on the ordinates the same way. my2 plus ny1 upon m plus n. This formula of calculating the values of x and y is known as the section formula. Why it is section? Because C is the point which dividing A and B in two sections. One section AC, another section BC. Ratio of AC section to BC section of lengths is m is to n. Then the values of the coordinates, that is the value of abscissa and ordinate at point C, which divide the AB in the ratio of m is to n, where coordinates of the A and B are x1, y1 and x2, y2 is given by x is equals to mx2 plus nx1 upon m plus n, and y is equals to my2 plus ny1 upon m plus n. If somebody says this C is a midpoint, if C is the midpoint, then what is the situation? If C is midpoint, then we call the ratio as 1:1, because if C is the midpoint, then both the parts AC and BC are equal and their ratio will come out 1:1. If their ratio is 1:1, then coordinates of point C, or in other words you can say the coordinates of the midpoint, are given by x1 plus x2 upon 2 and y1 plus y2 upon 2. This is the formula for finding the coordinates of the midpoint, because in first and in second, in place of m and n, you can put 1 and 1. If I put 1 here, 1 into x2 plus 1 into x1 upon 1 plus 1, that is x1 plus x2 upon 2. 1 into y2 plus 1 into y1 upon 1 plus 1, that is y1 plus y2 upon 2. So what is the section formula? Section formula is the way or formula or the method for calculating the coordinates of any point lying between two points on the line segment joining these points with the ratio m is to n, or whatever it is given. Always formula is x is equals to mx2 plus nx1 upon m plus n, my2 plus ny1 upon m plus n, and coordinates of the midpoints are obtained by using x is equals to x1 plus x2 upon 2, y is equals to y1 plus y2 upon 2. So using these results, we can calculate many problems. And there is one very important task, one very important problem comes sometime if it is written that point is trisecting. As and when the trisection is given, you must understand like this. Suppose this is a point A, this is a point B. There are 2 points P and Q. These points trisects the joining of A and B. Suppose coordinates at A are x1, y1, coordinates at B are x2, y2. And for trisection, ratio of AP is to PB will be 1:2, because trisection means 3 separate, 3 equal parts. This is 1, this is 1, this is 1. So the ratio of AP is to PB is 1:2, and ratio of AQ is to QB is what? 2:1. As and when trisection is given or trisection is required, what we will do? We will find the coordinates of 2 points in the 2 ratios, that is 1:2 and 2:1. So if you want to find the coordinates of the point P, the first trisection, it will be 1 into x2, because 1:2 is the ratio. So 1 into x2 plus 2 into x1 upon 1 plus 2, and value of x is this. Similarly, value of y at P. Value of y at P will be given by 1 into y2 plus 2 into y1 upon 1 plus 2, and second trisection is at Q, and this trisection goes to 2:1. So x and y, these were at P, and x and y at Q will be given by 2 into x2 plus 1 into x1 upon 2 plus 1, and 2 into y2 for y plus 1 into y1 upon 2 plus 1. These are the values of x and y at point Q. These are the values of x and y at point P for trisection. These are the values of the finding the coordinates of midpoint, and this is the general formula of calculating the coordinates by using the section method. Now we will apply these all results of trisection, bisection and this for solving the questions in various situations. Now I am taking one example where we will use our formula of the section, that is the section formula. What is this? Find the coordinates of the point which divides the joining of points 3, 5 and 4, 2 internally in the ratio of 3:2. So to solve this problem, first of all, a rough diagram or a rough representation we will do. Let us suppose this is point A, this is B. Coordinates of the B are 3, 5, that is the first situation. Coordinates of the B are 4, 2, that is the final situation. There is a point lying on joining of AB. Let us suppose that point is C. But the C divides the joining of AB in the ratio of 3:2. That is, coordinates of the A 3, 5, coordinates of the B 4, 2. We want to calculate the coordinate of the C, where it is ratios AC is to CB is 3:2. Ratio of AC is to CB is 3:2. If I tell you how we use the section formula, suppose this is point P, this is Q, coordinates x1, y1, x2, y2, point R divides joining of this in m is to n, then values of x and y at R are given by mx2 plus nx1 upon m plus n, and value of y is given by my2 plus ny1 upon m plus n. This is the section formula which is being discussed with you, and with the help of this we will find the value of the x and y at point C, which separates the joining of AB in the ratio of 3:2. So value of x and value of y. Here what is m? 3. So you know well, if we are taking the ratio of left side, ratio of left side is 3, ratio of right side is 2. So left will multiply to the right coordinate, that is mx2 means 3 into 4 plus ny1, that is right ratio left coordinate, that is 2 into 3 upon sum of ratios, that is 3 plus 2. This value will come out 4 3 are 12 plus 6 18, 18 upon 5. Now to calculate y, we will apply the same, that is 3 into what? 4. 3 into 2, because 4 is the value of x. So we will go to what? 2. So 3 into 2 my2 plus ny1, that is 2 into 5. 2 into 5 upon 3 plus 2, that is 6 plus 10, 16 upon 3 plus 2, 5. Hence the coordinates of the point C are 18 upon 5, 16 upon 5. So this is the simplest way to use the section formula, and always remember it is mx2 plus nx1 upon m plus n, my2 plus ny1 upon m plus n. So with the help of this, after comparing, this is x1 y1, this is x2 y2, this is m, this is n. x1 is 3, y1 is 5, x2 is 4, y2 is 2, m is 3, n is 2. After putting all these values, we have obtained what the values of x and y. So this is one of the use. Now we will explain you how to use the section formula in some difficult cases. One very commonly asked question using the section formula and midpoint formula. Midpoint formula is one of the part of the section formula. Prove that, or the proof of finding the coordinates of the centroid. The question is, if triangle is like this A, B, C, coordinates at A are x1, y1, B x2, y2 and C x3, y3. Using the section formula, find the coordinates of the centroid. So first of all, we must be aware what is the centroid. Centroid meaning by the meeting point of all three medians, or you can say intersection point of two medians, because whenever and whatever is the position for intersection of two medians, third median is bound to pass through that point. So centroid is that. Prove that the centroid of this triangle in general is given by x and y. The coordinates of the centroid are x1 plus x2 plus x3 upon 3, y1 plus y2 plus y3 upon 3. So the very important question, very commonly asked, if the coordinates of the end points or vertices of a triangle are x1, y1, x2, y2 and x3, y3, then prove that the coordinates of a centroid, that is centroid is generally denoted by G, is x is equals to x1 plus x2 plus x3 upon 3, y is equals to y1 plus y2 plus y3 upon 3. So to find the coordinates of centroid, you must be aware there are 3-4 things. A, what is in center? In center is the meeting point of all angles. What is orthocenter? Orthocenter is the meeting point of all altitudes. What is circumcenter? It is the meeting point of all perpendicular bisectors. What is centroid, about which we are talking? Meeting point of all three medians or intersection point of two medians, because centroid, circumcenter, incenter, orthocenter, these always coincides only in equilateral triangle. Here median, if I draw first one, that is AD. Let AD is the first median. Definition of median is that line segment in a triangle which start from first vertex or any vertex and joins the midpoint of the opposite side. The question is, B is, if we talk about coordinates of the D, coordinates of D are given by, as D is the midpoint, so x2 plus x3 upon 2 and y2 plus y3 upon 2, y2 plus y3 upon 2, because AD is what? Median. Median means line segment start from vertex and cuts or meets the opposite side at midpoints. So if we show here, this point is B, this point is C, coordinates here are x2, y2 and here x3, y3, then the point D will be given by x2 plus x3 upon 2, y2 plus y3 upon 2 using the midpoint formula. Now this median is coming from the vertex A. I am mentioning it again here. Coordinates of the A are x1, y1 and suppose G is the centroid point. But you all know that G, the median divides, the centroid divides the median in 2:1. So if I take AD again separate, at A coordinates are x1, y1, at D coordinates are x2 plus x3 upon 2, comma y2 plus y3 upon 2. G is the point of centroid which is separating our median in 2:1. Now if we apply the section formula in this AD, we will find the coordinates of G. So coordinates of G will be given by that x, the value of x is mx2, m is what? 2. x2 is what? x2 plus x3 upon 2. So this become 2 into x2 plus x3 upon 2 plus 1 into x1 upon sum of ratios, that is 2 plus 1. This 2 has been cancelled with this. So we have obtained answer of x is x1 plus x2 plus x3 upon 3. Similarly, if we apply to calculate the value of y, my2 plus ny1 upon m plus n, we will find 2 into the coordinate is y2 plus y3 upon 2 plus 1 into y1 upon 2 plus 1. Hence answer of y comes y1 plus y2 plus y3 upon 3. These x and y are the values of the coordinates of G, which is the centroid. So if centroid of any triangle is required, what is the formula? x1 plus x2 plus x3 upon 3 and y1 plus y2 plus y3 upon 3. Now we will apply the trisection, the midpoint and the application of section formula in solving few examples. Now I will apply the section formula in some difficult cases like the point of trisection or finding some ratios. It's like this. So if I take an example, you can see, you can read, you can listen. Find the coordinates of the point of trisection of the joining of points A 1, minus 2 and B minus 3, 4. So we must mention and we must assume that the coordinates of the A are 1, minus 2 and coordinates of the B are minus 3, 4. As the question is looking or wants the point of coordinate of the trisection. So first of all, we must be aware about what is meaning of trisection. If we have a 6 meters long rope, we cut into 2 parts. That is, if we cut it 2 times, it will be in 3 equal parts. So separating a length in 3 equal parts is known as the trisection. A is the first endpoint, coordinates are 1, minus 2. B is the second endpoint, coordinates are minus 3, 4. To find the coordinates of the point of trisection, we have assumed that this is P and this is Q. So finding the coordinates of the point P, so P is separating the joining of AB in the ratio of 1:2. Because AP is one part, PQ is another equal part, QB is the third part. So the ratio become 1:2. And at Q, the ratio from A to Q to Q to B will be 2:1. Ultimately, whenever we want to calculate the ratio or we want to calculate the coordinates of the trisection, it means that we will calculate the value or the coordinates of the 2 separate points. First of all, P. So the coordinates of the P will be given by x is equals to mx2 1 into minus 3 plus my2, that is 2 into 1 upon sum of ratios 1 plus 2. So value of x for P is minus 3 plus 2, that is minus 1 upon 3. First thing. To calculate y, my2 means 1 into 4. 1 into 4 plus 2 into minus 2 upon 1 plus 2, my2 plus ny1 upon m plus n. This is minus 4 plus 4, that is 0 upon 3 is equals to 0. So the coordinates of the point P become minus 1 upon 3, 0. Minus 1 upon 3, 0 are the coordinates of the trisection of the first situation. Now the trisection in the second situation, that is at Q. To find the coordinates of the Q, ratios will be 2:1. So 2 into minus 3. To calculate x, it will be given by x is equals to 2 into minus 3, that is mx2, plus nx1, that is 1 into 1, plus 1 into 1 upon 2 plus 1, that is minus 6 plus 1, that is minus 5 by 3. And to calculate the value of y, what we will do is 1 into 4, that is 2 into 4, because we are finding the coordinates of Q. 2 into 4 m by 2 plus n by 1, 1 into minus 2 upon 1 plus 2, that is 8, minus 2, that becomes 6 upon 3, that is 2. So coordinates of the Q become minus 5 by 3 comma 2. So we can calculate the coordinates of the trisection using the section formula, but prior to it we must know, to calculate the trisection means we will solve the problem 2 times. Once by taking the ratio 1:2 and second by taking ratio 2:1. Now I will discuss with you the problem where we will find the required ratio is required to be calculated. Now I am taking one more example where the section formula will be used in some different manner. Question is, find the ratio in which joining of points 3, 4 and 7, 8. There are 2 points. First 3, 4, second 7, 8 is divided by the line 2x plus 3y minus 30 is equals to 0. So first of all we must understand what question is looking for. The question is, here is the point, suppose A, this is the point B. The coordinates in the first situation are 3, 4 as mentioned, and second situation B 7, 8. So what? A's coordinates are 3, 4, coordinates for B are 7, 8. Find the ratio in which joining of 3, 4 and 7, 8. This is the joining of 3, 4 and 7, 8. Find the ratio in which joining of 3, 4 and 7, 8 is separated by the line. What is the line which is dividing this joining? Line is 2x plus 3y minus 30 is equals to 0. Let us suppose the line 2x plus 3y minus 30 is equals to 0 is intersecting this joining of A comma B at a point C. If it is intersecting it at C, then there must be some ratio for which we are doing this exercise. Find the ratio. As and when ratio is required, find the ratio. So generally what we should take? Let ratio is m:n. But if we will go with this approach of m:n, we will find the question very difficult. There will be a very lengthy process. So what is required to bring it for simplifying the question? Ratio we have m:n. If I divide by n both sides, I will say it is m/n ratio 1. And m/n I am assuming one constant, that is k. So this becomes k:1. So always remember in any question, if this word is written what ratio, if it is what ratio, then you are bound to take the ratio as k:1. So understand the problem. Point A is 3, 4, point B is 7, 8. This joining of AB is separated by the line at point C, and I have assumed that AC is to CB is k:1. So joining of AB at C is separated by the line 2x plus 3y minus 30 is equals to 0 in the ratio of k:1. So value of x and y for coordinate C, that is, we can say if it is k ratio 1, then mx2, that is k into 7, that is 7k, plus 1 into 3, that is 3 upon m plus n, that is k plus 1. Now for y, we will go my2, that is what, k into 8, that is 8k, plus 1 into 4, that is 4 upon k plus 1. Coordinates of the point C which is separating the joining of A and B in the ratio of k is to 1 are 7k plus 3 upon k plus 1 and 8k plus 4 upon k plus 1. As this is the common point for the line as well as for the joining, so these values of x and y must satisfy our line 2x plus 3y minus 30 is equals to 0. To make it, what we will do, we will put the values of x and y here. So this becomes 2x plus 3y minus 30 is equals to 0. In place of x, write down 7k plus 3 upon k plus 1. So 2 into 7k plus 3 upon k plus 1 plus 3 into 8k plus 4 upon k plus 1 minus 30 is equals to 0, or I can say is equals to 30. When I will take the LCM k plus 1 and will cross multiply to this, I will find 2 7 ja 14k plus 2 3 ja 6 plus 3 8 ja 24k plus what 12 is equals to 30 times of k plus 1. On simplification or on simplifying this, I need to calculate the value of k. So to find the value of k, the answer of k is coming out to 3 upon 2. When I will simplify it, I will get k is equals to 3 upon 2. So k is equal to 3 upon 2 means answer of ratio become 3:2. So what we need to do, whenever any question is required where ratio we need to calculate, we always assume at k is to 1, because A is this, B is this ratio where C, that is the intersection of the 2x plus 3y minus 30 is cutting it A and B. At C, ratio is k is to 1. By using section formula, coordinate of the C, x and y are obtained. These values of the x and y are put in that line because this line is cutting the joining of AB at C. And after solving, we obtain k is equal to 3/2. 3/2 means ratio become 3:2. And also find the what? The coordinates of this point. So nothing to do, you just need to put the value of k in x and y 3/2. You will find the coordinates of that point where joining of A and B is separated by this line. Now we will discuss how to calculate the area by using the area formula in general without distance formula. Suppose we have a triangle ABC. This is A, this is B, this is C. Here it is x1 comma y1 coordinates, at B x2 comma y2, at C x3 comma y3. If these are the vertices, then the formula of area of triangle ABC is given by mod of half of x1. Then if I write x1 inside the bracket y2 minus y3 plus x2 then y3 minus y1 plus x3 then y1 minus y2 close, and there is a sign of closing the mod. So what? Area of triangle of any triangle using direct formula can be calculated by what? By half, or you can shift this mod here also, because half is this. Why I am putting here a mod? The reason is area is always a positive quantity. Formula for calculating the area of the triangle is half x1 then inside y2 minus y3, x2 then y3 minus y1, then plus x3 y1 minus y2. This is the direct formula for calculating the area of triangle or quadrilateral or pentagon. First of all, question is what more use? If this area of any triangle comes 0, it means points are collinear. So there are two approaches with you to prove that points are collinear. A, if the sum of two small distance is same as the third, the largest distance, then collinear. Otherwise, if area of triangle obtained by using the three vertices comes 0, then also we say the points are collinear. If I take an example to find the area of a triangle, suppose we have a triangle PQR and its vertices are 3, 8, that is x1, y1, second vertex minus 4 comma 2, that is x2 y2, and third vertex 5 comma minus 1. If we want to find the area of this triangle using this formula, how we will calculate? This is area of triangle PQR is equals to half of mod of x1 3, y2 minus y3, that is minus 4 minus x1 y2 minus y3, y2 is 2 minus y3 is minus of minus 1, that become plus 1, x1 y2 minus y3 plus x2, x2 is what? Minus 4, x2 y3 minus y1, that is minus 1 minus 8, plus x3, x3 is what? 5, then x3 y1 minus y2, that is 8 minus 2. Using this formula we can calculate, this is half, 2 plus 1 3 3s are 9, minus 9 into minus 4 plus of 36, 8 minus 2 6 5 are 30. So the answer will come out after addition, and this is 37.5 square units. We will say this is 37.5 square unit. If we simplify, we will get 75 upon 2, 37.5 unit. So there is the last result for the coordinate geometry, which is applicable for calculating the area of triangle. Suppose there is a quadrilateral, you want to find the area, you will separate this quadrilateral in two triangles, you will find the area of two triangles, you will join, you will add, you will find the area of quadrilateral by using this formula. Similarly, you can find the area of even pentagon, because a pentagon can be separated into three separate triangles, and when these three separate triangles areas will be clubbed, joined, added, then we will get the area of any pentagon, hexagon, decagon. As discussed that this formula is really very important. You have to remember, method of remembering is half and mod. Half is outside, inside the mod, x1 outside the bracket, inside the numbering are x1, y2, y3, 1, 2, 3, then x2, y3 minus y1, that is 2, 3, 1 sequence. If it is 3, 3, 1, 2. So you can remember this formula, and this is applicable for solving various problems for finding the triangles of areas, pentagon, hexagon, decagon, as discussed with you, and to also it is helpful in proving that whether 3 points are collinear or not, and certain number of uses you can observe whenever you will practice a large number of questions from any book for your better results.